Let's try this again. Okay, testing. Make sure that the mic is on. All right, guys, good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of G.A.R Capital. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join me this morning and every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is Friday, February 25th. Good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and talk about the market. Before we begin, bottom right-hand corner of your screen, little white logo, turn on notifications, subscribe to our channel, like our videos. Really do appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit that like button so we can make the channel grow. Again, if you do like these videos every day. Okay, guys, I just want to preface this before we begin. I know that we've been putting out a lot of information regarding the conflict in Russia and Ukraine. So I just want to take a moment to kind of explain a couple of things. Number one, we're not a news organization in that sense. We're not the mainstream media. We're not any media. That's not what we do. The most important thing that we do is to provide information to give context and perspective on why things move the way they are. We don't have political commentary. We're not a political show or political channel. There's plenty of those around. Feel free to take a look at those different podcasts or different videos. That's not what we do here. I'm not a political commentator, honestly. That's not what we're trying to do. So again, the idea is not to inundate you with the news, but to keep you informed on just what's happening. Again, what's happening in Ukraine, again, I definitely condemn, of course. I'm not one to want war or anything like that. At the end of the day, we all want peace. I think we can all agree. But again, you're not here to listen to my political opinions. So again, it's not about kind of inundating you or bombarding you with news constantly about what's happening over the world, but it is important in terms of the stock market, and that's why you're here. Again, I wish we didn't live in a world where conflict creates, I guess what you want to say, movements in the market. It's a different world, it's a different time, it's just what it is. So again, it's not about taking sides at all. If you ask my personal side, I personally stand with Ukraine. I don't agree with Russian aggression, but that's just me. Again, you're not here to listen to my opinion on that. So again, it breaks my heart to see this kind of conflict still in the world. We're all human beings. We all live in the same planet. We all breathe the same air. We still care for our families, and we still look towards our future. But unfortunately, that's not the world we live in. The world can be a very cruel and cold place. So all we can do, in my perspective, is really just give you the information, let you decipher it and how you would like, and go from there. So that's what I just wanted to say, that piece before I begin. The idea is not to just inundate you with news to make you panic. It's to give you guys perspective on why things are happening the way they are. That's it. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Dow Futures up 144 points. NASDAQ up 55 points. S&P up 18 points. The Russell's up about 0.43%. 10-year yields did test 2%. It's now at 1.993%. The dollar is down 0.36%, 96.78. The VIX is down 3% at 29.40. Crude oil is down 1.37%, 91.52. Gasoline futures $2.87 a gallon, down 1.46%. Gold futures continues to are sliding here, down 2% this morning. You can see continuing and may test that 1882 level. Silver is down 2.97% at 23.98. The euro dollar for my forex people, 112.36, up 42 pips. 115.49 for the dollar yen. That's basically flat. Bitcoin is testing 40,000, 39,275, and Ethereum at 27.04. Okay, so here's some of the news that came out today. I know we're talking about news. Why is the market up today? So here we go. I tweeted this today. Russia's ready to send delegation to Minsk for talks with Ukraine. So again, that's creating a big boost on futures. I guess optimism there is where we are. But again, nothing has really been confirmed. There is some other news that came out. China's President Xi told Putin he respects Russia's actions, affirmed readiness for close coordination and mutual support at the United Nations. That's according to the Kremlin. And then this is from Bloomberg Politics. Russia's Vladimir Putin is reportedly open to sending a delegation to Minsk for talks to Ukraine. So that's a couple of sources out there. This is why it's up. Is it sustainable, guys? It's really just day to day. It's very difficult right now to kind of create a prediction. That's kind of the the ultimate goal, is to create a prediction and be correct. But here's the levels you have to look for. If you're looking at E-mini futures, 43.45 is your 200-day moving average on the hourly. So again, a break of that 43.65 would be very key. Why is 43.65 very key? Because that's your 43.65. I had it here. 43.65 would get us closer to around that Fibonacci level of 61.8, which is 43.71. That'll get us into a new range between 43.71 and 44.54. Could this all change literally within the hour? Absolutely. We know that sometimes futures don't hold up. This could reverse later. So again, it really depends on what you're looking at. Let's go and take a look at the hourly chart on the VIX, something I'm looking for. We did go ahead and fill that gap to 39.9. Now we're kind of holding that 100-day moving average of around, what's that moving average? 28.64. Gold is coming down, which kind of shows a little more of a risk-on sentiment in the market, buying stocks and what have you. If we do break 1882, then it becomes more interesting that the stock market will continue to go up. So again, we don't know what could happen over the weekend, so you just have to be extremely careful moving forward. Some other news here. We talked about Coinbase yesterday with their earnings report. They're up 2.9% pre-market. With that being said, let's go to the pre-market movers and we'll answer some questions. Let's see it. Let's go to the Dow. What's moving? Intel slightly red, Chevron slightly red, Nike's up 1%, Boeing up 1.39%, and Apple up 1%. Tesla up about 2% today, Nvidia up about 0.52%, Carnival up about 2%, and PayPal up about 1.7%. On the back of Square's nice earnings. Square is up pre-market as well. Let's see, Lucid Group up 1.46%. AMD, as we know, have an $8 billion stock buyback program to be activated, up 1.52%. If you guys want to take a look at Square stock after hours or pre-market, they are up about 21% pre-market. We do own shares. Again, it's nice to see, but they got a lot more to go. So again, looking at Square, they had nice numbers. Investors are cheering for it. They're right around 114. On the daily, a break of 132 would get us out of this downtrend, at least for the moment. So again, kind of put an alert there at 132.01 on Square. So with that being said, let's answer some questions. Right, let's see. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, calls on SPY. Good morning. What does the delegation mean for the market? Could it be possible Ukraine surrender instead of making peace? That's very tough to say because I'm not really sure. Again, I can't really say I'm a geopolitical expert or anything like that. I can't say that, but I mean, it really depends on what is talked about and what is expected. If Russia expects a surrender where Ukraine loses their sovereignty, that may be off the table. That may not happen. If maybe Ukraine says you can have these little areas and Russia's okay with that, maybe. But I mean, it's really up in the air. We don't know what exactly the talks may be about. So again, it could be just one of those things where it's a rumor, people are buying the rumor, and then the news comes out, it's sold. Seen that before. But again, we just have to wait and see. I know it's kind of tough to just wait for the actual action before we do anything. Good morning, Ailey. 42.65 is your weekly high too. Yep. Nvidia can run again, but 240 break, or is it too obvious? Sometimes even obvious works. Taking a look here at Nvidia, I would say a break of around 248 seems about right. 240 isn't a bad level, but 248 would probably get us, but I see exactly where you're at. You do have another resistance there. Maybe a break of 240, you can take a look at the 250 calls. But again, I'd hate to hold stuff over the weekend as well with a lot of uncertainty. Can PayPal be a sympathy play? Yes, they are up in sympathy with Square. So they're up about $1.60, $1.68 right now. Again, anything really nice to see? Sure. Is it breaking out? Well, remains to be seen. I think a break of 111 would really tell us a lot. So let's see if we can get a break of 111.87 on PayPal. There may be some opportunities on there for stocks that have been beaten down lately if we get a nice little run up. Calls for SPY, please. Leonardo's asking. Let's take a look at it. Looking at SPY, I have a level here at 436. But again, that would clear us that 200-day on the 1 hour. Remember, I put that chart yesterday regarding the biggest turns in the last 3 weekly candle closes on SPY. That could be in effect, but again, we just have to wait and see. I would say a break of at least 435 before you do anything. I have an alert of 436 to kind of give us a little bit of a cushion, but 435 would be it. Again, guys, the narrative has not changed either. Remember, we're still at lower highs and lower lows. Again, the Fed is still going to raise. That hasn't changed. We know we still have high inflation environment. Yes, we're having some good news here in terms of the Ukraine-Russian conflict, but again, don't get distracted on what the bigger picture is. Again, a lot of this is a short covering rally. A lot of this is a kind of a relief rally. But again, we just have to wait and see. I wish I had a concrete prediction of yes, this will happen, but I don't have a crystal ball. So all I can tell you is scenarios and what we're looking at. Do you think AMD can have a continuation on yesterday's news? AMD's news was very big. Absolutely. That's a big, big deal, that stock buyback. Let me see if I can delete one of these alerts. Yeah, so I would put an alert right around 119. If that can break, I would take a look at possibly the 121 calls on AMD. That 8 billion stock program, buyback program, is pretty big. Which one of the big tech are you diversifying at the right time? Google. That'd be my first one. Google would be my first one to buy once I can see that, maybe the bottom is in. The last thing I would want is to retest the bottom and I bought on a boost. That's the last thing I want. Read your note on SPY, very informative. Do we have to wait today for a call bottom? It's difficult to say because, again, there's still a lot of moving parts in the geopolitical world, as we know. So, again, it just shows the past. So, again, we're kind of in between a rock and a hard place where, this time is different versus we've seen this before. So that's kind of the mental battle that we have as traders, is that we've seen a lot of patterns, but then we always say, well, it's different now. So it's kind of like, you're kind of fighting that every single day. Remember, trading is a mental game. You have to kind of stick with your analysis too, but then you have to be fluid to get out when you're wrong. And that's really the emotional pull that you have when dealing with money and trading with options or futures or what have you. So again, it really is day to day, almost hour to hour, maybe even minute to minute. What did you hit on the crazy run yesterday? We did hit SPY yesterday, and we hit gold calls in the morning, gold futures long. Apple 200 DMA on the daily held up nicely yesterday. Yes, it did. Let's take a look at that. We're going to bring up the daily on Apple. You can see it really pretty close to 151. I mean, from the breakout level that we had was right around 150. That was kind of the line in the sand. Very beautiful pop. But again, guys, we have a little more to go. I think a break of 165 on Apple would give us a lot bigger clue on moving forward, because Apple is still the largest company in the S&P and the largest company on earth. Do you think we jumped yesterday because market prices and war, rate hikes, etc.? No. What happened yesterday was a complete short squeeze. All the short covering, all the people that were short the market, all those people that were believing negativity, they got out. They basically said, we're closing, we're covering, and then when you sell your shorts, you have to buy. That's how you close, and then we got a straight shot up, and a couple of straight shots up. Does it mean that we're out of the woods? No, of course not. We just still have to wait, and that's the hardest thing, just to wait and see. I wouldn't be surprised if we open red today, or we close red today. I wouldn't be surprised if we close green today. It's all about what the news comes out with, the price action, what's the sentiment in the market. The VIX being down is a nice sign. Obviously, gold being down is a nice sign. Commodities being down is a nice sign. The NASDAQ kind of flattening out now. We can see it now kind of dropping, rejecting that 200-day. It really is a day-to-day, hour-to-hour market. And you're welcome, Chaz. So again, a lot of stuff at the end of the day. Again, let's kind of keep perspective, guys, in regards to what's happening overseas. And people are dying, guys, at the end of the day. It's pretty ugly to see out there. And I know we're talking about the stock market. So again, let's just kind of keep some perspective. We all have a job to do, and I understand that. But again, all it is just information. I just want to give you guys perspective on why things are happening, where they're happening, and then kind of just profit from it. I wish we lived in a better world where we didn't have to think like that, but that's where we are currently. The world doesn't stop the world doesn't stop just because, there's conflict overseas. I mean, each one of you individuals are still interested in what's happening in the market. As you can see, the market's not closed. It's still going, and life is going on. So all we can hope is that, and pray for peace moving forward, and then we can move on with our lives, and hopefully Ukraine and Russia in the future can be, closer and better for it. That's really all we can hope for. Let's see here. And all right, appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your afternoon. We'll catch you guys for the aftermarket recap right around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll go over all the market moving action, and answer some of your questions. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Cheers.